smoking, it's a revolution. Revolution. Shots to your head, it's an execution. It's being us versus the corrupt. Red dot, put it across to your head. Let the Lord interrupt. Gun smoking, it's a revolution. Shots to your head, it's an execution.
Woo! Liberty Goons are back, baby.
Holy cow, man. We had a good little escape after 8.5 hours on live.
We needed a break, guys. Sorry that we have not been around, but that was a very long time.
God.
Be alive. And shout out to all those of you that stuck with us on it. I'm John. You know me from 2A Patriot Ranch, from the Pew Pew Pews. The guy next to me on that side, that is Mr. Don Welch. You know him from the Sick Beats that we premiered.
Oh, yeah.
On election night, which you can go back and watch. It's on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch the episode.
It's the only place on the internet you'll actually find that song.
Yes, exactly. Don, what should they do right now? Like right this second, what should they do?
Man, it is your time to drop a like, drop a comment, hit subscribe, and ring that bell notification so you can watch episodes just like this every single week. The Liberty Goons.
Woo!
We bring you freedom and we bring you news.
God,
and we have some amazing news to give you with a little bit of a
you know what though? We're gonna steal the Kamala tagline. It's a joyous time. I'm filled with joy. I am filled with joy. Don's got his Yeti. Oh, you know what? Shout out to Travis Scott for my mug here. He gave me this a couple years ago. Shout out Travis Scott, Cactus Jack.
There you go.
Oh man. So first and foremost, thank you to all of the people that watched our election night coverage. You guys racked up over, I believe it was something close to like 300 or 400 hours of viewing time.
Crazy, bro.
That people watched us. We had concurrent, now that all the data is in, I believe close to 800 viewers across all platforms. That was Instagram and the 2 YouTube channels, which is just amazing. And shout out to our Liberty Goon family that stayed all night with us.
Dude, it was kind of crazy. I was kind of shocked. There was a good 20 of you that were still on with us at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning, which is like, insane. Like absolutely insane. The second shout out, of course, goes to all of our sponsors for that night. Man, huge shout out to HRT Tactical Gear for the plate carrier giveaway and the advanced weapon light system giveaway. Shout out to my boy Sam for hooking up our winner Steve Davidson with a weekend getaway in Temecula wine country. Shout out to our boys over at Zemo. Aegis Gun Care. Pew Pew Jew
that just randomly started giving shit away on air,
which was awesome.
Shout out to Angry Sarge for jumping in on the giveaways and giving shit away. Shout out to myself at 2A Patriot Ranch for giving some shit away. Shout out to the boys over at 2A Bourbon that gave a sick ass little gift thing away of bourbon. He let me know he did get it already, so shout out to you guys.
Thanks.
And shout out to our title sponsor, 2A Watch Company. They are providing some sick watches. And Don, I don't know if you saw, they tagged us on IG today.
I didn't see. I've been so busy.
They are releasing a new line that looks similar to this called Liberty and Company. Really sick watches. So check them out. You can follow them on Instagram at 2A Watch Co. You can
get some of your own at twowaywatchcompany.com.
They need to hook us up with those. That's our tagline.
Right? So
come on.
If you're watching, hook some brothers up.
Yeah, I mean, we are
Liberty. If
yeah.
you look up fucking Liberty in Webster's now, and there's a picture of the Liberty Goons.
Yeah, exactly. Us.
What an election night, dude.
Dude, election night. Okay, so election night was crazy, right?
Yes, it was.
The day or that leading up to election night was insane as well. Sorry, I'm getting text over here. I should probably see if I can turn my phone off here. But we started getting, we went out to eat. And I ended up getting into a massive argument.
Yes, you did.
I don't know. What do you call that? It's not that's your line of work, a hostess.
A hostess, yeah.
I got into a huge argument with the hostess. We were having genuine conversation with our
server,
and then this little girl decided that she was going to say something, and she was like 18, 19 years old, and she was like, no, my taxes went up so much more under Trump, and my taxes have went way down under Biden. It's like, dude, you didn't even have a job, and that is not true at all because the tax code hasn't changed. The only difference is now you're just paying more fucking for everything that's around you.
Yeah, she was an idiot. I had to call him my partner Don down there because we were in basically an empty restaurant.
I was like, you don't want to have this battle with me. I was like, we do this for a living.
It was getting rather loud, but needless to say, pretty awesome. You know what? Shout out to you, Don, for coming halfway across the country here and spending some time with us here in Pennsylvania, a state which we won. Yeah. I think it has something to do with the Liberty Goons being on the prowl for a couple days before election. If you ask me, I don't know.
I think between me getting my Instagram completely fucking shellacked and us pushing so much on here and us pushing so much on Liberty Goons, getting hit every single day with strikes.
Yep.
I mean, I have destroyed my Instagram. So please go follow me, Don Welch Music, and go like. I don't care if you watch any of my stuff or don't. Just like it, drop likes on it. Try to help me build my algorithms back up to where it forces them to fuck off. That would be awesome. Hopefully Elon will get that fixed for us here in a little bit. But for the time being, because I mean, I have like hundreds of strikes on my shit. But I do think that we had a big part in really getting people out to vote. I mean, I know that even at my job alone, like I was getting people riled up so bad that at my job, I've never been written up at my job, and I got written up. And when I came back from election night, and came back to work, they basically snatched me up before I could even sit down and said, come with us. And I had to go in and speak with HR, and it's like, you cannot talk about anything political anymore. And then I'll tell you about that conversation offline, but it got pretty crazy. They got mad because I had a Donald Trump sign on my computer, but they have like rainbow flags and all types of weird, crazy shit. And I'm like, dude, this is freedom of speech. Anyways, I'm going to have that conversation with you offline because it's not good for here. But I do feel, like I said, I feel like we have pushed really, really hard since the beginning of this podcast, since we started.
We were even recruiting people into the Liberty Goons family at the polling place, at my polling place. I think we've got some new members of the fam. So we did our part. I feel like we did our part.
Dude, I mean, I was out there talking to so many people, but like, oh, my vote doesn't matter. Convince them that their vote does matter. They went out and voted, and hold up. Let me just say this first and foremost. We won Texas by 1 million more votes than we did in 2020. Landslide, 14-point victory. Also, calling all red that everybody was saying was going to be so close. Got his ass smoked by Ted Cruz.
Smoked.
He won by a 9-point victory.
We took down my great state of Pennsylvania. It was rather close.
And they're still trying to debate that. They're you know how Democrats are. They're election deniers.
Yeah, exactly. They're denying this election. McCormick was able to pull down the Senate race over Bob Casey Jr. here in Pennsylvania.
Shout out to him.
All people that we stomped for along the way. Actually, I think everybody that we stomped for won.
Except Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were pushing real hard for Brown. I am glad that what's his name from Montana won. That was huge.
Mm-hmm.
That was huge.
Yeah, that was good, man. Election night. She. She,
or however the fuck you say his name.
Oh man, what a fantastic night, and a lot of things to come that we're going to talk about here tonight. But Don, you almost didn't make it back home,
brother. I am never flying to New Jersey ever again. Okay, I just want to say, like, being from Texas, obviously John, lived in Florida forever. I'm not used to the communist ways of life. I get on a plane and I say, hey, yo, I got a gun. Cool. Throw it in my bag. They take it. I go pick it up at the end of my flight. Done deal. I got a scope from my dear friend John over here, and I put it in, I believe it was my backpack. Didn't think anything about it. Go through, well, security, put my bag on there. And next thing I know, I'm sitting there waiting for 15 minutes. I'm like, where the fuck is my bag? Where is my bag? And I'm like starting to stress out because I don't see any of my stuff. And then I see somebody roll my bag out on 4 wheels and then bring it up to the front. And they're like, whose bag is this? Some obnoxious woman. And I said, oh, that's my bag. And then she goes, open up your bag. I was like, okay. And I opened it up and she goes, what is this? I said, it's a scope. And she was like, you can't have a scope on the plane with you. We're going to have to call security. And I was like, I can have a scope. It's not a gun. It doesn't do anything. It's a gun part. It's not a gun part. It's a scope. I could, that would be like me. Like if I wanted to go look at the moon, I could have a scope. It's like no different than a telescope. Like it does nothing different, And so she's like, I'm going to have my supervisor come over here. Gets the supervisor to come over there. He goes, oh, no, we're going to have to call the police. Yep. Going to have to call the police. Can't have that on here. That's a gun part. And I'm like, no, it's not. Argue with them. Boom. We're going to have to detain you. 3 TSA fucking dudes come over there, grab me, put me in a freaking holding room. And then I sat there for 30 minutes. Like every time somebody would walk by, I'd be like arguing with them. They're not paying attention to me. Finally, a cop comes in. He was like, oh, no, you're allowed to have that. No problem. So I'm sitting there furious the whole entire time. I walk out of there and I was like, hey, dumbass, you dumbass bitch. I was so heated. I was like, I told you I could fucking have it. And then I went downstairs and I got a drink freaking 2 minutes before I had to get on the fucking plane.
Meanwhile, you're texting me. You're like, tell me what's going on. I literally look up the TSA rag on it and sent you the screenshot of literally it says rifle scopes with a green check mark next to it saying you can't, like in their own like website, it specifically states that you can have it.
And this is why Elon needs to get rid of all these fucking federal agents because they are useless.
Yep, useless.
They don't even know the rules. Okay, first of all, TSA's main job is to probably not put stuff on a plane that's gonna kill you. So you should know the difference between something that's gonna kill you and not fucking kill you, right? Like none of these people knew their fucking job at all. Shit bags. I mean, just like literally shit for brains.
I mean, that scope is, when put to use, pretty deadly.
I mean, granted, but it's not going to do anything on its own. Like literally nothing. It can do nothing on its own other than I can zoom in on your fucking pimply ass face from, about a half a mile away. But other than that, that would be the extent of it.
Yeah. Shout out to ATN. It was the Excite 5 LRF.
Yeah, you guys almost got me arrested.
Yeah, almost got Don arrested. Yeah, but that was pretty badass. It just got me thinking because I kind of totally forgot about it. So Don and I, ATN and I, do some work together over at 2A Patriot Ranch, and they had me checking out a thermal, like a thermal imaging scope thing. And so Don and I were messing around with it when we were out at the ranch, and it is so good that it picks up your heat signature when you touch something or when you walk. Don's like, dude, I can see your footprints right now.
He's like, no, let me see it. And I was like, I swear to God, you can. He grabbed a hold of it.
That was wild.
It was nuts, man. Like, their technology is getting so good. Shout out to ATM, man, because wow, I was impressed. I was impressed.
Yeah. And shout out to them for that.
And we had an absolute blast. And granted, I want to just say this. I probably wouldn't have been so mad, but me and John stayed up until like 5 o'clock in the morning. John had to wake up at like, I can't even remember what time, like 7 o'clock in the morning or something like that to go to work. So like, we're like running on like an hour and a half of sleep, and I'm gonna have to get on a plane. I was furious. So I was just
fucking people, man.
But
fucking people.
I just want to say I had a blast. So thanks for inviting me out. Me and John went and shot a ton of guns. His ranch is awesome. Companies, if you're, a gun company or you have, whatever, send it to John, because it's not going to get put in anybody else's hands that are any better than John's hands to shed light to your product, man. We had an absolute blast. Bro.
I had so much fucking fun.
Dude, the 6 arc.
What a round.
Insane.
What a round. So Don and I know we talked about this election night if you already heard it, but I had gone out about 2 weeks ago and bought the EAA Gerson Witness 2311. And
you want to talk about that?
No, we won't get totally into that, but we went out and shot it, and we filmed a review video on it, and we both, our final thoughts are not a very good gun. Not something that I would want to keep in my collection. So we drove down to the gun store, to the one I bought it from, and I traded it back into them, and we picked up a Ruger American Ranch in 6mm arc. That thing was fucking fun.
And honestly, if you guys are out there and you want a good hunting rifle, that's a pretty dang affordable rifle.
Yeah, $590, I believe. I mean, we were using 2 scopes that are triple the cost of our rifle. we had put my Burris velocity or veracity pH on it, and that's like a, I don't know, 1500. And then we also had my Ruger American Predator in 22 arc out there with the ATN X-Sight Night Sight 5 on it, which is like 4 times the cost of that rifle. But
I mean, it was and let me just say this: we were shooting at 100 yards, standing up with no bench.
Yeah, shout out to Hornady for 2 really, really good new cartridges in 6 arc and 22 arc. And I don't know if you saw this. They just released a 338 arc.
Wow, I have not seen that.
It looks obviously just like the other 2, but just a monstrous cartridge on the bottom of it.
Dude, I have never been impressed by a round as much as I have. Well, like the 22 arc and the 6 arc, I don't think I've ever been impressed by a round so much. The speed that thing is coming out at. I mean, like, I'm sitting behind John. Well, one time I was standing beside him, and that round went shoo, and I had my ear out. Holy cow. I thought my ear was just like never gonna stop
Cracked.
freaking ringing.
Correct.
The crack on it is insane, but no recoil.
No.
Crazy.
On either of them, really.
On that's what I'm saying. On either one of them, that round is phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal round.
Great rounds.
Or both rounds.
Yeah, both rounds were phenomenal. We had a blast shooting the MCX Spear. Hell of a gun.
I love that gun.
Yeah.
That gun is, and honestly, I mean, here we are just chatting about guns like we're not on a podcast, but
Right.
the Beretta.
Mm-hmm.
I have never shot that Beretta before. What is it? Which one was it?
92 FS Police Edition.
Yes, dude. And I'll just go ahead and humiliate myself. I couldn't hit at 15, 18 yards, like steel this big with the freaking 2011 that we had. And at 100 yards, I was hitting that same exact plate with iron sights. Like,
it's a good gun.
And consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So, no red dot on it or anything. That gun is super impressive. The only thing I would say is it needs a little bit of like shaving down if it's a gun that you're going to carry all the time, because there's a little sharp piece of wood that would definitely bite you. But man, that gun is awesome.
That thing is. Man, it's a reason that police forces and the U.S. military carried it for so long. It's just such a good gun.
The double pull on it is not bad. Yes, it's heavy, but it's smooth, and the single action is
incredible,
crispy.
Incredible single action on it. So shout out Beretta. Also, shout out to Otter Creek Labs. We went out and shot my Roscoe with the Polonium K can on it, and it is the best sounding 5.56 can that I've ever shot.
No ears needed for that sucker.
Yeah, no ears. It changes your crack into a clap. It's like really hard to explain. I was trying to explain it to you before we went out, and I'm like, because 5.56 has such that signature crack to it.
Yeah.
And it changes it just to like this clap. I don't know. It's really good though. Anyway, yeah, like you said, we just off on our tangent about guns here. So actually guns are one of the things that their liberals melt down on. You know what else they melt down on? Trump winning.
Bro, oh my gosh. It was so awesome watching it. I don't know, because we haven't really talked about this. I mean, me and John, we had to get our asses back to work, and we've just been focusing down on that.
And spent.
Yeah, we were pretty burnt. I mean, granted, we were both paying attention to everything because there's lots of exciting news with it. But did you see where the it was on Daily Mail? Have you seen that girl? What is her name? Actually, I'm gonna pull.
Oh, I saw the one you sent me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
Like killed her dad or something
on election night. Yeah, she killed her dad. Hold on, it's Corey Burke. This is how much of an outrage. Now the rest of it's really fucking funny. Like there's the outrages are super hilarious, but this woman literally killed her dad. She's a lesbian, which you're never going to hear in the news ever. CNN's never going to pick that up. Nobody's going to pick this up. But yeah, she ended up killing her dad on election night, dude.
Because he was happy that Trump won.
And she was having an absolute shit fucking meltdown. That's how crazy these liberals are. And they thought they were so nervous about Trump winning that they thought the whole world was going to come down to nothing and everything's over and I lost all my rights.
Yep.
And what have we seen so far since he's been? I mean, Hamas is talking about backing down. Russia is saying like, hey, let's come to an agreement. So is Ukraine now to like end this war. We had the stock market freaking just explode all of a sudden. I mean,
and Joy Reid's out there blaming white women.
and Mexican dudes for being misogynistic. It's fucking
It
hilarious,
is.
bro.
What's Morning Joe's woman's name? Oh, why am I blanking on her name right now? Showed
Oh,
up in a black dress, like
dude,
she was going to a funeral.
and they can't admit to why they lost. Like, I can tell you why you lost. Like, they all still are so like, no, we're hell bent on being super far left and super woke. No, you lost because you went so woke and you went so extreme to the left where
Yep.
everybody thought you were crazy. People, like, think about this.
And you had a horrible candidate.
Yeah, and well, but the horrible candidate is just showing all of those reflections from the far left. I mean, look, women in this country, yes, we get it. You might want abortion, fine, dandy, whatever. It's a state's rights now. We won't even need to get into that. If you live in a state, you can do it. If you can't, I don't know, go to the other state, whatever the case is. However, that's not what this election was about. We had women, men playing in women's sports, men beating the absolute living dog shit out of women at the Olympics.
At the Olympics.
We've had men literally spike balls so hard into girls' heads, in high school, where now there's a girl who's literally a vegetable right now. I mean, it's insanity. We've had
tampons.
Tampons and little boys' bathrooms. We've had so much insane stuff, and then they're like, they think that that's not why they lost. No, that is exactly why you lost. You went too far. Like the saying is, go woke, you go broke. I mean, and motherfucker, a 312 landslide, you all went broke.
Whoa, I mean, real broke. Like actually broke.
Like actually broke. Like you spent like $20 million over your $1 billion budget.
Kind of broke.
Yeah. You know what's crazy?
Dude, can you believe we're actually saying this stuff? Like,
it's insanity. It's truly insanity.
I can't help but laugh.
You know what? You know what's so wild, right? So before we even get into that, I do want to talk about some meltdowns, and then I want to talk about
We'll circle back. We'll
circle back like Jen Psaki. So she ain't never circling back again, son.
No, she gone.
She gone forever. The crazy part is like we have people that are moving to Canada now. Hey, I'm all for it. Get the fuck out of our country. Bye-bye. We have women that are cutting their hair off that are 400 plus pounds and saying that they're never gonna ever have sex with men ever again. No man wanted to have sex with you in the first place. Like this girl literally said, I've been celibate for 4 years, so I can do another 4 years. No, honey, it's not because
it wasn't a choice.
That wasn't a choice. Nobody wanted to do anything with you. Like you're a crazy psycho far left-wing person that is highly obese and you should probably get into the gym. And I'm not saying that to like fat shame somebody. I know there's all types of heavy people out there, but at least like they're working towards something. I mean, these people are nuts, dude. Like they're absolutely nuts. I mean, we talked about it on here where Gretchen,
Whitmer.
Gretchen Whitmer, where she's over there acting like she's, some, Catholic priest and then putting Doritos in lesbians' mouths. Like just the most crazy, insane, wild stuff that you've ever seen in your entire life.
You even had politicians melting down. Like Hochul came out right away saying, we're not going to work with the Trump administration and let them try shit, blah, blah, blah.
Dude, the Pentagon is having meetings right now because they're having a meltdown because they don't want to lose their jobs. The Federal Reserve was like, no, Trump can never get rid of me. I'm here forever. There's nothing lawfully that Trump can do. You know what I say to that? I say, hey, Elon Musk, Let's go back to gold standard and let's say fuck the Federal Reserve and they can go literally fuck themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
I agree.
Let's back everything by gold. Hey, we might have a little bit of struggle for the next year trying to do that and trying to get that figured out, but at least our money wouldn't be fucking fiat.
Did you hear Trump's attorney talking about Letitia James?
Oh, he said, put her fat ass in jail.
You're gonna put your fat ass in jail.
I fucking love it, dude.
Oh
Like,
my god, they're having meltdowns.
Bro, the meltdowns are so wild. Did you see where that girl like started pulling her hair out?
Oh yeah, just
like ripping her hair out, just going absolutely insane. It was wild, bro.
You know the best thing though, the thing that gave me hope for society, and we talked about like what could happen and all these scenarios of like if he wins and she loses and blah blah blah. And like you and I got up at 7 o'clock the next morning. We drove from Pennsylvania to New Jersey. The sun was brightly shining. The air was, well, it was Jersey air, but
hey, even the Jersey air smelled fresher,
it
brother.
smelled good. There was nobody rioting in the streets in New Jersey.
The birds were whistling.
Birds were whistling. We walked into my work and people were smiling and like
it was awesome.
And then you have the crazies that are on TikTok and Instagram cutting their own hair off and losing their shit and crying and talking about how many rights they just lost, which I'm still trying to figure out what rights they.
What did you lose?
Nothing changed.
Lose? Nothing changed, and nothing's gonna change in any of those aspects when Trump finally takes office. The only things that's gonna change is that
you're gonna gain liberties.
You're going to gain liberties. Your inflation's going to go down. We're going to fucking shred the government all apart again. And we're going to go back to having all of your rights. And so we've lost so many rights. Why? Because, we have the executive branch that's been stripping away rights without Congress for how fucking long? For the past 80 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to get massive fucking tax breaks. Like massive tax breaks, people. I mean, I don't think people understand when you cut $2 trillion into government spending, like how much more money that frees up.
We are walking into the golden age.
As long as we can keep it. Now, there's something that me and John are both worried about that we will talk about.
Yeah, we're dancing around it here on purpose.
Yeah.
But circling back to what we started to slide into there, which was, motherfucking Kamala broke.
Bro. Think about this. The person that you wanted to be in charge of this country couldn't manage $1 billion in 107 days. 107 days. Donald Trump ran for a year and a half on $300 million and was under budget. Under budget.
And Donald Trump actually had the celebrities that were endorsing him paying him.
Yes.
Kamala is shelling out $5 million to Beyonce, $1 million to Oprah, $5 million to Megan Thee Stallion.
She paid $800,000 for the podcast. Call Her Daddy.
Yeah,
$800,000. It didn't even break 1 million views, people. It didn't even break 1 million views.
Meanwhile, Trump and JD Vance are going on Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan and Sean Ryan
and breaking the fucking internet.
Aiden Ross. I mean, I don't like that little fucker, but like he has his following. And they're not paying to go on this shit.
It's crazy, bro.
And bitch is broke by 20 million. She's out there trying to scrounge up money because she can't even pay her people. She had over 500 million in staff salaries. 500 million.
It would be like me and you being in charge of the military weapons. Like all of a sudden, like me and John get to have full reign on all military weapons and whatever we decide we get to do with it. They wouldn't have any weapons left.
we gonna go crazy.
It would be like, hey, you get supply of all of the Winchester ammo in what's the name of the place?
Lake
City.
Lake City.
It would be like, hey, you guys are in control of Lake City now. You don't think that somebody like me and John wouldn't just be like, oh man, we're taking millions of rounds.
Round them up.
Round them up. But the real thing is we're telling you that. She's telling you that she's going to be able to help fix your shit. I'm telling you.
One of the biggest trolls of this election season is Donald Trump offering to pay off her campaign debts.
Bro.
In the name of working together, he says, let me just take care of these debts for you.
Bro, insane. I mean, think about this. Donald Trump did all of these podcasts, right? Didn't pay anybody to do these podcasts. Both people made money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Or got what they wanted to out of it. Let's just put it like that. Donald Trump didn't have to pay anything. He got tons of voters. He got tons of eyes on him. And Joe Rogan, if you don't think Joe Rogan didn't make a stack of dough.
He had 15 million views in the first 9 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Do you know how much money that is, people?
No. And not just for 15 hours, 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And I guarantee
the watch time was insane.
I guarantee you 13 million of those in the first 9 hours watched all fucking 3 hours.
Oh,
and if they
I bet you his average watch time on that episode is on the verge of an hour.
I think it's over. I honestly
it's too many people for it to be over that.
I don't know, dude. It's Donald Trump, man. It's Donald Trump. Okay, even me and you. Let's say they didn't get it the first day. We all went back and watched it.
Yeah, I watched it in 2 parts.
Yeah, I watched it in 2 parts too, because the thing is it didn't come out. YouTube forced them to put that out at a later time because they didn't want to break the internet, so they wouldn't let them put it out
during the day. Yeah,
during the day. So they forced them to put it out at, I think it was 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, because it was going to shut down their servers.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I'm driving home. I see it. I start to watch it. I eat a little bit of dinner. I'm fucking crashed out on the couch. I wake up the next morning. Shit, I don't remember where we're at. I went to go vote that day. And I'm listening to it as I'm going to go vote. And I watched the rest of it the next day. I mean, and
he probably made $100,000 on that episode, just on viewers alone.
I think honestly, it's probably more than $100,000.
I'm just doing the quick math in my head because
in one day, at $100,000 in a day.
Yeah,
a day.
that first day.
Yeah,
and the residuals off of that will be insane.
Absolutely nuts. And not only did it go on YouTube, it went on Spotify, it went on Apple and everything else. And then same with Theo Von. And let me tell you how smart the Trump campaign was. They had JD Vance double back and hit all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Theo Von, he got right back on with Joe Rogan. And I honestly think that his Joe Rogan podcast was almost better than Trump's was.
Yep.
In my personal opinion. And the Theo Von one with him is hilarious. Now, granted, they're a little bit closer to age. They're a little bit closer to, I guess Joe Rogan's maybe a little bit older than JD Vance. And then he's probably a little bit older than, or JD Vance is probably a little bit older than Theo. So probably somewhere right there in that perfect mid spot of age. So they just had so much more that they could talk about. And because they grew up in the same time period and thought same shit was funny.
Even Sean Ryan's one with Donald Trump has 3.6 million views.
And Sean Ryan came out and said that okay, hold on. Joe Rogan said that when the day after it came out, you couldn't even type in Joe Rogan and Donald Trump and it wouldn't even pop up. Same thing happened to Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan said the exact same thing. He said, Within 12 hours, you couldn't type my name in a Donald Trump and the video would not pop up.
Theo Vaughn had 14 million on his Donald Trump and 5.4 million on his JD Vance. Like
Crazy, bro.
crazy numbers. Crazy numbers. Let's see where Joe Rogan is at on that episode now.
If you can even find it, you're gonna have to probably go to his actual podcast.
49 million views. 49 million.
He just
2 weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying. He just got elected.
And 17 million views on the JD Vance one. Yeah, they're banking.
Bro, banking. That's easily $1 million right there in 2 weeks for Joe alone.
Yep.
You know,
Man.
so and you know what? Here's another thing. Like, liberals are never going to be able to get on podcasts that the average person listens to, because average people don't go and listen to woke podcasters. So I heard this whole thing is like, we need to figure out the media game. Bro, you can't figure out the media game because the media game is people like me and John.
Yeah, you're fucked.
That's what people listen to. Your average day person listens to people like us. I mean, Joe Rogan's way beyond us, but you guys catch the drift. Just regular people talking. Theo's a regular dude. Joe's a regular dude. You know, even
Sean Ryan's a regular dude.
Sean Ryan's a regular dude. You as a liberal can never get on a regular dude's podcast. And especially because they'll think that you're fucking out of your mind.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with being misogynistic. That they're going to think that you're absolutely fucking nuts when you start talking about chopping little kids' things off. Like that, you're never going to win that crowd over ever.
No. And I mean, please disregard the fact that Don and I are both wearing plate carriers during this video. Yes, we are possibly completely nuts as well, but we do it because we like to make fun of ourselves, and it's funny as shit.
And then we get to have trolls talk about it, so it just makes it even better.
Are we breathing okay in this episode? Because
this thing's tight on me.
the trolls like to say that like we're out of shape and like I don't know, some weird shit. I don't know, some weird shit going on. Anyway, the reason that I called this the golden age earlier was because appointment season is upon us. Yeah. Appointment season. Oh my God, it's been amazing. This might go down in history as one of my favorite like 2-month spans ever. Because I don't know that we've ever seen in the federal government something as glorious as what has transpired over the past few days.
Dude,
every day I wake up and I check Truth Social for another message from Donald Trump.
It's insane, bro.
We'll start out there, but let's just start with the videos first, and then we'll get into all the appointments. The videos of his platform is unlike we've seen any president in history ever do before. This guy is getting up in front of a camera and telling you what he's going to do and how he's going to do it with complete disregard for any and all negativity towards it.
And with transparency. Like the first president ever to do that.
He stood up there. He has talked about dismantling the college accreditation system, dismantling the Department of Education,
kick that shit out,
supporting 2A rights, mass deportation, energy independence again. It seems like literally every day It is just the most amazing thing
Peace
that
through
we've ever
strength.
seen.
Peace through strength.
Peace
Bro,
through strength.
I mean, cutting taxes. I mean, you name it, dude. Like, he does not give a shit. Oh, going after social media platforms that are biased. No
Yep.
more. Like, if that happens, now that might be a little bit of a pipe dream, but anybody on the planet can fucking do it. It's Donald Trump with the team that he just fucking picked.
It is the master class of appointments, culminating in today. If you're watching this, this is Wednesday, November 13th at fucking late at night. Today were two of the most awesome nominations thus far.
Bro, I about fucking shit myself. Like, full out fucking diarrhea from excitement shit myself. That's how crazy it was. I literally sent you a message and I was like, I didn't even say anything except, woo!
So today we had Trump appointed Matt Gaetz as Attorney General.
My God. And I just want to say this. Me and John have actually talked about this on this podcast.
A lot, actually.
A lot. And we thought, I thought for sure that it was going to be Ken Paxton.
I thought for sure it was going to be Alina Abba.
And we were both fucking wrong.
And we were both very fucking wrong. He swung for the fences.
Like, I'm still shocked.
And picked Matt Gaetz. It is one of the most amazing things I think I have heard in a very long time.
Dude, I feel like Matt Gaetz in that position could like fucking be like a presidential nominee now after that.
Oh, he is going to go after the bullshit. I mean, he's been our number one advocate in Congress for the de-weaponization of the Department of Justice.
Him and
Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan, yeah. Jim Jordan. And Thomas Massey. And
Massey.
Oh, hold on. Before we
Yes.
get any further, did you see when they asked Thomas Massey?
Yeah, he said, we'll just do it from recess appointments.
He goes, well, they're like, do you think that you'll be able to get Matt Gaetz actually, appointed? And he goes, we'll do it through recess appointments. We don't give a shit. So it's just like, God dang.
Matt Gaetz is probably the best pick for any position in my lifetime for Attorney General. And I can't believe the Liberty Goons missed this, that we didn't even speculate on this.
I didn't even get a sniff of it, bro. And I don't
Nobody did. Nobody did. It wasn't on any of the blogs. I mean, even Timcast, I was watching him earlier, was just like, this was out of nowhere. No, and it's funny because everybody says it makes complete sense, right? But none of us ever thought that this was going to happen.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the reason why I never thought it was going to happen is because I thought, well, Trump's going to play nice a little bit. Like, and
he's going for the jugular.
And he just said, nah, we're going to make the best decisions, whether you fucking like it or not. And that's what he did.
And continued it on with the second best pick today, DNI Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi.
So I think it's officially time. It is time for Tulsi Gabbard to come off the watch list. You are now vindicated, Tulsi Gabbard.
I agree. And this is, and I'm gonna say this. We went super hard on Tulsi Gabbard this whole entire election cycle because she has not proven herself yet to the masses of where she actually stands.
Mm-hmm.
And she has slowly slowly started, showing her cards and saying like what she's going to do and how she feels. Now, we won't truly know until she gets in that position, but I don't think that she would be in that position if people around her didn't 100% think that she wouldn't just be a fucking boss at that job. And I'm going to say this. Mike, who owns the Sons of Liberty, the AR company. I mean, he's a huge fan of Tulsi Gabbard. Like they're like homies, like really, really good friends. And I just thought it was so weird that he was hanging out with Tulsi Gabbard this whole entire time. And I still like thought it was strange. And now I'm starting to see it, man. I'm starting to see it.
I am happy about this pick. And these two picks are interesting, right? So these two people were picked to head the departments that have gone after them. Tulsi Gabbard was put on a watch list, the Blue Skies program.
Yep.
DNI. Matt Gaetz was targeted by the Justice Department, and now he fucking runs it. Well, is going to fucking run it.
You couldn't have picked better people.
Nope. Let's run down some of these other ones. Elise Stefanik, UN ambassador.
Huge.
Our favorite dog killer,
Christine Nome.
Christine Nome, Secretary of Homeland Security.
That was when my dad was like, holy shit, they picked her.
I heard she's not even allowed on Indian reservations in Arizona because of her treatment of animals. Lee Zeldin to lead the EPA. You want to talk about whack.
Crazy, bro. That's a crazy pick.
Down. The good old boy, Mike Huckabee, ambassador to Israel. There can't be a nicer politician than Mike Huckabee. I mean, the guy is just granddad. He is.
I'm just wondering if Sarah's going to get a position.
No, she already said she didn't want it.
She didn't want it. Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that.
She wants to stay as governor. I'm skipping over one here just because I want to leave it because there's a lot to speculate on this position. But National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, great pick. He is a MAGA guy through and through. Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Staff. Susie Wiles, who basically wrapped up this election for Donald Trump, Chief of Staff. Big pick here. Border Czar, Tom Homan.
Oh my
this guy,
God.
You want to talk about one of the most straightforward badass dudes.
He's a straight up gangster for just keeping America's borders, bro.
He's a G.
He's a fucking gangster pig.
He is a G. Big time appointment. John Ratcliffe, CIA director. Release the files. The files.
I think they're going to, dude. I think that there's going to be so much pressure on them that they have no choice.
Yeah, I agree. John Ratcliffe, great pick for CIA director. My personal favorite, Pete Hegseth, SecDef.
Badass pick.
I
can't wait for that.
Best hair in the biz.
I can't wait for that young dude to walk in and be like, salute me, bitch.
Oh, the left was having a complete meltdown over Pete Hegseth.
Dude,
like
anybody that is against that guy is out of their fucking mind. This dude is a war hero. If anybody has the repertoire to be in this position, it is freaking Pete, bro.
It is absolutely Pete. I am thrilled. His book, War on Warriors, fantastic book. Like absolutely fantastic book. He was a major, 3 combat tours, Bronze Stars, I believe. 2 Bronze Stars. And he has the best hair in the biz. So This guy is
and degree from Stanford and Harvard.
Princeton and Harvard.
Oh, Princeton and Harvard.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's our sec def.
That's crazy, bro.
The one I skipped over because I want to talk about this one a little bit is Marco Rubio, Secretary of State.
I knew that was going to be the last one.
And the reason, I'll get to the non-appointment like the non-cabinet appointments here in a second too, after we talk about Rubio. But so let's first start off with just ramifications, and then we'll get into what you and I talked about last night.
Mm-hmm.
Ramifications are obviously losing a senator here. And I was talking with my mom earlier tonight about what I talked to you about last night, which is Marco Rubio gets Secretary of State, opens up the Senate position. DeSantis has to appoint somebody into finish out that term until 2026. He can appoint anybody he wants, and he appoints himself.
That would be the most gangster thing to do on the planet.
And now we've got DeSantis in the Senate. We've got the lieutenant governor in Florida taking over, and she's just fine. Mm-hmm. No issues there. They actually speculated her for filling the Rubio seat. But he should just appoint himself.
I think he should too. I think he should just appoint himself. Florida is going to be in great hands. Anybody that's saying not, look, you guys won by, I think, 13 or 14 points too.
Yeah. He's out in 2 years anyway, guys.
Yeah. Look, yes, we get it. You didn't want him to be president just yet. Everybody wanted Trump. We understand.
We get it. We're cool.
We're cool. We feel the same way. But look, let the young girl go ahead and get her fill in. And then now she can continue to run. And now you guys already have somebody that's fulfilling that, and you guys can vote her in, and I highly suggest you guys do.
Yeah. Jeanette Nunez is her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's that. I think that is not what's going to happen, but that's what should happen. So, Daddy DeSantis, if you're listening, appoint yourself, bro.
Appoint yourself.
Now, let's dig in a little bit deeper into Marco Rubio. So, I just want to stipulate first, and this is not that I know this is not necessarily 100% your opinion. I'm okay with Rubio as Secretary of State. However, Don, I know you have your problems, and some of your problems are similar like mine.
Yes. I knew we would have very similar reactions to that.
I mean, he's a little bit of a war hawk.
Yeah, he's definitely a little bit of a war hawk. I get it. Look, I'm very pro-Israel too. Like very, very, very much pro-Israel. But I'm a little nervous that he's a little too rambunctious when it comes to that.
Iran.
And we just don't need to get into a war we don't need to get into any war, period. Whether it's Israel, Russia, Ukraine, it doesn't make a difference. Look, it is time for America to get its shit back together. We don't need to jump into another war. I say, go ahead, support Israel. But really what you need to do is make a fucking peace deal. Hamas has to stay the fuck out, and then that's it. I mean, I just don't know what else to say. Draw the fucking line in the sand. Hey, Palestine, you guys got to be another 40 miles down the fucking road, and we're building another wall there, and then there's a 40-mile gap. I'm not saying that that's what they're going to do. In my personal opinion, I think that that's what they should do. Just build another wall right there. Be done with it. And hey, that's your guys' shit over there. Because I think a lot of people forget that Israel gave Palestine that piece of land anyways, because it was still part of Israel. So everybody keeps talking about this two-state solution. I'm sorry, there is no two-state solution. That's not going to happen. You can't have that happen. You can't have Palestine be Israel, period. It's just not, that's just does not work. No, in no form or fashion. That is a absolute fucking pipe dream from far, far fucking left-wing people that donate to terrorists.
Yep. It's a no-go. It's a
Yeah.
no-go. But little Marco, remember his little hands? Remember little Marco's little hands? How things have changed. But little Marco, I'm okay with it. I just hope he controls his Napoleon temper.
I think, okay, so I was talking to my dad about this too, because my dad said something very similar. And he's like, I wouldn't have picked him. And I was like, yeah, me either. But he said, you know, if you're going to have somebody that's going to have like Israel relationships, you know what I mean? Like, he's very pro-Israel. He's kind of the guy to have. You have all, we have such a mandate in this country right now. Nobody is going to, like, he's not going to be able to budge without anybody else telling him what to do. Mm-hmm. Now, do I think there's lots of things that he can do on his own? I'm not saying that, like, clearly.
Sure, but he's polished too. And I think that that's important as well. Mm-hmm. You know, he's not going to misrepresent our country out on the sex state, you know, trail.
No, and he also has he understands where the United States is right now. We need drastic change. We don't want to be in any wars. He understands that. He gets that. I think there's nothing to really worry about with Marco Rubio. I think we should still watch and pay attention to what he does, but he's probably everybody else I'm extremely excited about. Him, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Can we just make sure he doesn't have a server in his basement and make sure he doesn't have access to Bleach Bit? Not last time that shit didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
And the last like real appointment I want to talk about is a new agency, the Doge.
Let's go.
The Department of Government Efficiency, aka Doge. This is obviously born out of the minds of two enormous trolls in Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
But not just any trolls. The two most genius trolls that America has to fucking offer.
Yes. The two most genius trolls decided to create an agency called Doge.
I fucking love Elon, bro.
Headed by two brilliant individuals, probably one being the smartest man in the world and Elon Musk, and the second being a fiery, just, you know, just ready to spearhead anything that's in front of him.
But so polished, mm-hmm. so well spoken, so much integrity. I mean, dude, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if we didn't see how good JD Vance was, I'd be like, that's who I want to be president in 2029.
Yep.
No,
I mean, all you have to do is look at these two guys and their background to know that they mean business.
Yeah.
Elon Musk took over a heavily bloated Twitter, fired 70% of the staff, and X lives on.
And took out the whole everything and the kitchen sink.
And then posted himself doing the same thing at the White House, which was absolutely fantastic. And Vivek Ramaswamy, who also has a history in business of taking over companies and, you know, doing very similar things. Mm-hmm. They are going to destroy what we call that thick, juicy fat.
We've talked about this so many times. We have talked about this so many times, how bloated the government is. Look, you know, first place you can do is start off with the ATF. You can thin that bitch out. You can thin the FBI out. You can thin the CIA out. Nobody is going to notice.
Nope.
Nobody. That's how many people they have that don't do a fucking thing in there except just cause Americans' life to be an absolute shit show, and then them try to bank off of making up bullshit, because that's exactly what they do. They just make up bullshit.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
And we know that. We know that because the information's out there. It's kind of like how FEMA said, I posted on Instagram, well, hey, FEMA is not paying attention to any of these conservatives' houses. They're not taking care of these people, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what happens? Trump becomes president. He's not even actually in office yet. And what do we know? FEMA was told to avoid anybody's house that had a Trump flag on it.
Yep.
So
they are going to absolutely cut that fat. And I am so excited about it, because here's the thing. And here's what, to sum up all of these appointments, here's what the libtards are actually crying about. It's not the individuals. Sure, there's some very controversial to them individuals in there, Matt Gaetz and so on. However, what they're scared about is Trump has just built a team of people that are going to make America great again. And the next 4 years are going to be the largest years of prosperity that this country has seen in decades, and maybe ever.
And they're afraid if it happens, they're never getting power back.
Never getting in power.
Ever.
That's what they're scared of.
The Republicans are going to run the country for the next 100 years if they... Now, there's something that we're going to talk about here in a minute that could
derail this.
That could derail this. Everything that we've seen so far has been awesome, 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 awesome. There's one thing today that's happened. Can I go ahead and tell them?
Wait, we gotta do the intro for it.
Go ahead.
It's time for
the watch
list.
list.
We haven't done this segment in a while.
Yeah. So on the watch,
we had to.
So today there was a special election that was with hidden ballots, and this is the one thing that me and John have both been worried about the most after we seen that the Senate took majority. Obviously, we're both super happy that the Senate took majority, because we need that to happen in order to be able to get Trump's agenda across and to get our agendas across and things to get this country back on track. We knew that this was going to happen, that they were going to change out the majority leader, because Turtlehead Mitch McConnell already said, this is it. He's getting too fucking old anyways, and he's been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He was a terrible Senate majority leader, and he was a terrible Senate minority leader. Like, the worst.
The worst.
Like, he decided who was going to run for Senate majority leader. He had his two picks, and then the rest of the House had their pick. There was, I think it was 13 people that had their pick. And the problem is, I'll just go over the names that were in this. So we had John Cornyn, we had John Thune, and we had Rick Scott.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, people like Elon Musk, people like me and John wanted Rick Scott in there. Now, do I think Rick Scott would have been the best choice? Absolutely, hell to the fuck no. My personal opinion, I say if we're really going to fuck shit up and we're really going to get stuff back on track, put a Rand Paul in there, put a Josh Hawley in there.
Fuck Josh Hawley. Fuck Josh Hawley, and we'll get
we'll get into why. But before all of this, and I just want to preface this. Before that, we would say Josh Hawley, and then we would also go and say Ted Cruz. Now, my pick, and I've said this on here, my pick forever, which I know is a pipe dream, but would be the best thing ever for this country, without a doubt, is Rand fucking Paul.
Yep.
Rand Paul would be the greatest Senate majority leader the Republican Party has ever seen, especially if you want things like Doge to really, really make shit happen, right? Which means basically cutting the fat of the government and getting the tax dollars back in your hands.
Yep.
So immediately what came out after that, we had John Cornyn and John Thune and Mitch McConnell say, we're not going to do all these games. What's most important is, the what I'm trying to think of the word now for it. The establishment party is more important than anything else. And that was what they both said. Okay. Rick Scott came out and said, hey, I fuck the establishment party. And I think that's why most Republicans wanted him. That's why we wanted him, because he said,
I'm here for Trump.
I'm here for Trump. And to us, like, we were like, shit. There's some things that we have definitely disagree with you on a lot.
Yep.
A shit ton. But now that you're saying 100%, you'll do anything that we the people want you to do, and you'll fucking make it happen. We're all in on Rick Scott. Elon Musk put out a poll, and I think it got 77% of the people on Twitter that voted for him, and it was crazy numbers. I think it was like 150,000, and then it was like 1,500 for John Cornyn and like 2,100 for John.
It wasn't even close.
It wasn't. Yeah, and then other actually had, I think it was 19 or 20%. So the other had more of a percent than the rest of them did, right? So saying all that, today there was a special election, and it came down to John Cornyn, and John Thune. I have been calling my senators and other senators since Saturday, urging them to vote no on John Cornyn. The internet has went absolutely insane.
Ape shit.
Saying no to John Cornyn. The Second Amendment, I think, or no, is it not our Second Legacy or whatever? They put it out last night at 10 o'clock at night. I think that's when I sent you that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they had until midnight to do it. And I think within 2 hours, they already had like 6,000 people sign on to it.
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, when you and I were talking about it, and we went immediately onto, we'll get into this, but we went on to Josh Hawley's last Instagram post, which was nothing to do with this at all. And there were 75 comments, and all of them were like, fuck John Cornyn.
Yeah. And okay, so now let's go back to Josh Hawley. The reason why he said this about Josh Hawley, in case you guys have been living under a rock, is Josh Hawley immediately came out and said, I'm voting for John Cornyn because John Cornyn got me reelected. He helped out financially with all of us, and he's the reason why our party succeeded. And I understand that, but I don't give a fuck.
No,
and
fuck you, Josh Hawley.
And the real reason why I don't give a fuck is because Mitch McConnell, John Cornyn, they had to donate money to people to get them reelected if they wanted to have Senate majority. Here's the problem with that. So now you've basically bought these people in order to vote for you. Mm-hmm. The real issue is if you would have kicked Mitch McConnell's dumb fucking turtle ass out a long fucking time ago, we probably would have won 65 fucking seats.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that you didn't kick Mitch McConnell out, so you got 53 seats, and
we're left with a bunch of mini McConnells.
Yes, mini McConnells, as in, John Thune and John Cornyn, because that's who the establishment decided to pick. Now, there's a bunch of people in the Senate that aren't part of the establishment. Like we've named off.
We've talked about it. Yeah,
we've talked about it. However, there's no choice for them but to vote for somebody if it's coming down to no, hey, this is your only 3 picks. And by the way, this is all on a secret ballot because that's what bitch McConnell fucking does. That's what he did last time too during the midterms. And then they force them to do it before these new people like McCormick or he gets put in.
Is such a bullshit move.
It's a bitch move, and it's an establishment move. Now, I hope that. So just let you guys know, John Thune won. I don't like John Thune. He is definitely 100% been a fucking swamp creature. I hope that he does the right thing, but what he came out and said today did not make me feel fucking good about our party at all and where it could go.
He has definitely not watched the Liberty Goons and does definitely not live by our no compromise mantra.
He came out and said, look, they asked him, well, hey, are you going to help get Donald Trump's appointments through? He said, well, we're going to try, but we still have to, we still have to compromise with Democrats. Bro, that's a red fucking flag right off the rip. Red fucking flag immediately. That's the reason why we didn't want John Thune. That's the reason why we didn't want John Cornyn. Well, we didn't want John Cornyn because of several reasons. Because he's super anti-2A. Both of them have voted on Democrat bills. I think that
Safer Communities Act.
John Cornyn, I think it was like 77%. And then John Thune was like 68% voted for Democrats last year. These are not good fucking records if you are supposed to be ahead in charge of the Republican Party.
They're fucking rhinos.
Fucking rhinos. And I hate to break it to you guys. This is a really bad thing for us because what we have worked so hard on, because Congress is every 2 years, right? So 2 years, you can fucking primary the fuck out of somebody. Get them the fuck out of there. And for 4 years, for the past 4 years, the last 2 years, and then this 2 years, we have primaried so many people in Congress where now it's an America First agenda. Congress is mainly that, built of that elk, right? The problem with the Senate is that it's 4 years that you sit there and it takes so much longer for them to go. And they don't play by the same rules. For example, in Congress right now, hey, one person says, fuck you, no, we're going to bring the vote to the floor. That vote comes to the floor and then they can change the speaker or the speaker of the House. Now, when it comes to the Senate, with the Senate Majority Leader, everybody's afraid to come because they're like, well, do we have majority vote to get this person out? And then everybody plays like, hey, we're only going to do this much because we're going to need you to come vote for us next time.
Yep.
And if you think now Donald Trump wanted so hard to get terms. If you think that you're getting terms now with John Thune, you are out of your fucking mind. It's never going to happen. No. If you would have got somebody like Rand Paul in there, it would be one of the first fucking 10 things that you vote on.
It's the only, you alluded to it a little bit, the only hope that we have is that they're all so scared because of what has just happened in the country and the way that the Senate is now taking form with all these new MAGA Republicans in there, that, which is obviously why McConnell called for the vote prior to January 3rd.
Because he didn't want the new people to be in there to be able to vote.
Exactly.
That's the real reason why. He had, 49 people, and now there's 53 people, and some of those people got fucking primaried, and, some of the rhinos got kicked the fuck off, and that's the real reason why.
Yep. And so the only hope we have is that Thune is too scared, and that's it. Otherwise,
but he came out and talked like a little bitch today, and that fucking just angered the fuck out of me. He didn't stand true to, even though he came out and said, "Oh, I will do whatever Trump wants us to do. We know that we have a mandate." And then he backpedaled like all fucking rhinos backpedal already. And he's not even officially the Senate Majority Leader yet.
Yep. And man, it just crushes, you and I and a lot of our viewers' hopes as far as the Second Amendment goes, because there's so much good that we could do. Like, I'm talking January 4th, there should be a bill that hits the floor for national reciprocity.
Yeah, or like the Shush Act, the Hearing Act, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So for us to be able to get suppressors off the NFA, we could get SBRs off the NFA. We can't get rid of the NFA, guys. We don't have enough votes, but those are easy. Those are two easy things that we could easily pick off. Obviously, you got JD Vance as the tiebreaker. If you just peel off a few Democrats that live in conservative areas, you could have it.
You might. But for sure on both national reciprocity and the hearing thing.
That's a for sure. That's a guarantee.
Those two can definitely get passed through. And Donald Trump has already said that he will sign those.
Yeah.
And that compiled with the wins that we are starting to get in the court system with Illinois' assault weapons ban getting knocked down, with Maryland trying to plead their case to not have the Supreme Court review theirs. I would say that next year might be one of the most monumental years in the Second Amendment arena that we've ever seen. Since the passing of the Gun Control Act.
As long as John Thune's not a little bitch about it.
Yep.
And we're still going to get shit done even without John Thune, but it does make us take a step back. It also makes me take a step back on the First Amendment and things that could happen with the First Amendment, because he is a little rhino bitch. So that makes me nervous. And that's why John Thune's on the watch list for in the first place, is strictly because he's been a little rhino bitch.
Yeah. And yeah, John Thune, you are now on
the watch
list.
I do want to say something crazy because we didn't get a chance to talk about it. Me and you were talking about this before. So Elon Musk, and forgive me because I do not remember the name of this website. I'm going to find it. We'll put it here, below. But Elon Musk and Kennedy came up with basically a place for you to be able to vote on people that you wanted to get put into specific offices. Well, the ATF is obviously, we're going to get rid of fucking Tweedledick, and we're going to put in somebody else for the ATF. Well, lo and behold, our boy, Texas's own Brandon Herrera is now winning by 3,000 votes to be the fucking ATF director. And holy shit, the stuff that I heard him say tonight, if it fucking happens, Donald Trump, please make him the ATF director. We're going to cut this little piece right here and we're going to send it out, and we want you to all tag Donald Trump on it hardcore. We absolutely need Brandon Herrera, a pro Second Amendment guy, to be the head of the ATF director. Brandon Herrera, go ahead and give that man that pass, put him as the director. We need that more than anything. That would be absolutely phenomenal. And holy shit, I cannot believe that Elon Musk and Kennedy actually put a website up where you could vote on these things.
Brandon Herrera on Twitter the other day writes, the ATF hasn't had a director that actually understood the firearms industry or been a part of the community it's responsible for regulating since its founding. We have the power to change that. That tweet has 444,000 views and 32,000 likes.
Go and repost that. If we can get that post to be up to 100,000 reposts and just tag Donald Trump, JD Vance, Donald Trump, JD Vance, we could actually make that freaking happen.
Yep. So I think it's I'm trying to find this this website. It's Kennedy Maha. Let me see here. Kennedy Maha nominees.
There we go.
And it is submissions. Submissions are now closed. Damn it.
Oh, so they are closed it already.
Yeah. Nomineesforthepeople.com is the website. Nominees for the people. And let's go here to what are we looking at? ATF
Director.
Peace at Home. Brandon Herrera, yeah, with 126,000 votes.
126. Let me just say this. Brandon Herrera lost by like 392 votes to be your next congressman, who should have definitely been your next congressman in District 23 in the state of Texas. But you know how many people came out and voted? Less than 30,000 people. Holy shit. This man just got how many votes?
126,000.
126,000. Texas, shame on you for not going out and voting for Brandon Herrera to put him in Congress. But this is something you guys can do. Go and repost that post and share it and at Donald Trump, JD Vance. I'm telling you now, if 40,000 of you go and repost, Brandon Herrera will be the next ATF director.
Yep. And Dan Bongino for Secret Service.
Oh, yes. That's an absolute must.
I mean,
bro, could you imagine? I mean, we have one.
I was just thinking about it in my head.
We have one shitty pick that really, really sucks, that irks the fuck out of me. But if we can get Brandon Herrera as the ATF director and Dan Bongino for the CIA director,
Secret Service,
our Secret Service, holy shit!
And let's throw Tucker in there for truth and transparency.
Yeah. Damn.
Like, bro. Let him run wild on a new truth and transparency commission. Oh man. Just fantastic, guys. I'm so excited. I can't even, man. It's joy. I'm taking her word. It's joy. I'm so joyous. There is no better time to be an American than right now.
We're back, baby.
Donald Trump has said it best. We are going to make America great again. And I have no doubts in my mind that the next 4 years are going to be amazing for me, for you, Don, for our viewers out there, and for the rest of America.
Yep. And just make sure that you guys pressure the absolute shit out of John Thune if we start to see him do anything a little, outside of, shit that he shouldn't be doing. We need 1 million of you to fucking go after him as conservatives and be like, we'll fucking vote your dumb ass out.
Yep. The Liberty Goons are here to make sure that not only for the past 8 or 6 months have we held accountable everybody in the political sphere, mainly Democrats for the past 6 months. We are here to hold our own party accountable as well. Each and every episode, we will call them what they are, whether it's rhinos, whether it's MAGA, whatever it is, we will call them out. If we are not seeing progress in the Doge agency, if we are not seeing progress in Kennedy's new initiatives, if we are not seeing progress in Matt Gaetz's Justice Department, we will call them out right here. Nobody is above getting called out by the Liberty Goons.
Facts.
We are here to support the liberty and freedoms of each and every one of you. Stay out of my pockets. Stay out of my house. Stay out of my family's house.
and let me live the life I want to live, unburdened
by what has been.
by what has been.
Yep, straight up, man. Straight up, dude. You couldn't have said it any better.
If you like our channel, please subscribe. We would love it. We'd really love it if you subscribe. We would even like it even more if you like this video too. And if you want to get notified every single time we post cool shit just like this, ring that notification bell. That's Don. I'm John. We're the Liberty Goons, and we are
Ow.
out.